What up, it's Rico Love. I'm here at Social Media Week. Looking forward to the panel today with myself and Fat Joe. So tune in. I hope you guys enjoy it. Ask your questions, tweet me, follow me at I am Rico Love. Hope you guys enjoy. Turn the lights on.
What's up, y'all? This is Fat Joe, and I'm here with you at Social Media Week.
Yeah, so I think the social media, the whole situation, the whole idea of social media is very grand because it's an opportunity for people to get information, get content, get photos, get music out to people in like 0.2 seconds. As soon as I think of an idea and I feel like posting it or saying it, anything I want to say, I can just tweet it. I can just, Facebook it. I can just, even online, if I want to set up a YouTube page, YouTube channels, whatever it is, it's so fast, it's so direct. I think there's pros and there's cons to that, you know what I mean? For instance, anything that's so simple and so fast can be unappreciated at times. And it's like when you get the direct feedback from people, it's kind of like unsettling sometimes to know that you might spend hours and hours on a song, or days and months on a record, and then you put it out and some kid in Nebraska is like, this sucks. It's just like unsettling at sometimes. So you gotta really grow tough skin, but at the same time, the way that people, hack into our music, the way they don't appreciate it to the point where they'll steal your music and put it out 2 days, 10 days before it's supposed to be released, and it kind of can throw off your whole marketing plan. And in a sense, they're kind of taking food out of your mouth and taking from your family because like we work hard to this and we got this rollout and we got this plan the way it's supposed to work this way, and then some guy just for no reason just hacks it and takes it. But on the plus side, I want to really focus more on the plus side of it. It's just an opportunity for me, as back in the day where you would have to put out a record and give it to Flex or give it to Clue and give it to this person and get the tape circulating, and it take a while to become word of mouth. Now you post something and in 2 hours it's all over the world. 10 minutes it's all over the world and everybody's talking about it. For instance, I was with Usher the other day and he put out a new single called Climax that he did with Diplo. And he said, so we're gonna launch it in a few minutes, and he launched it, and literally in 10 minutes, the feedback was everywhere around the world. Like, the new Usher's crazy, and so that's cool, and that's the positive of it. And I'm sure Joe got his, he's an executive and a CEO and an artist as well, and seeing those type of things. But I think it's definitely pluses and it's minuses. I think more so the pluses if we try to use it to our advantage as much as possible.
He's absolutely right. It's a double-edged sword. Of course, we can use it. I think it's a great blessing for like an underground artist who doesn't have the marketing dollars or stuff like that. When you see somebody like, what's the kid? Mac Miller,
A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, A$AP Rocky, Wiz Khalifa, these young cats where they build such and I'm still trying to figure how they did it though. Like, I swear to God, like I put out viral videos all the time. I'm on my shit. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to figure out how they did it. Like, cause you hear them tell a story, yo, we was just shooting random videos and it blew up. I'm like, yo, man, I'm not whack, man. I need that following, man. So you do that, and the double-edged sword, and this is where you take away from. When the social media, or you just say the bootlegging or whatever, the free downloads, this is where it really, really, really hurts your favorite artists, right? Because you have an artist who a record label puts out and they give him a big budget to do his album, and he pays for samples and music and producers and artists and features, and they pay for videos and they pay to promote this thing. And then you have that artist come out and everybody, before his album comes out or her album comes out, everybody downloads it free, right? So people are like, yo, like my son straight up tells me, yo, how am I gonna pay? It's free, like, right? I be like looking at him, I be like, yo, but you like going against the grain. Like, we supposed to support the artist. So I mean, like, so say you take one of your favorite artists, right? Say Adele. Let's say if we all just downloaded her stuff for free. Right? And she didn't sell 18, 20 million records. She would be super duper dope, but a record label would never want to spend no money on her again. You know what I'm saying? So she would be like, so you have artists who don't sell albums, But the minute they walk through an airport, everybody's like, yo, I love track 13, track 12, yo, yo, yo. So the record label's like, yo, why we can't make no money with this guy. Yeah. But he's actually hot. Yeah. So that's the double-edged sword. And but of course, in getting, like me myself, I put my own music out now. So he is exactly right when you said we really don't need a record label, to be honest with you. I look at a record label, I look at record labels as financial institutions. They're just banks. So basically they hire the same people we can hire. I'll be talking a hole in your head about this. They hire the same radio dudes, the same media dudes. We hire everything. If you got your own money to do it, then you don't really need to go to them, because we all know they got funny math. They do funny math. So, you know.
I think though, if we, like, on one end you can say we don't need the record companies, but I think on another end, the resources that they have, if you put it together, if we put our powers together and come together in the right way, obviously the splits ain't right, because, you know, the guy who puts up the most money, you know, he's the pimp.
He wants
that.
He's
gonna get the higher percentage, and I feel like if the record companies and the artists who have these type of brands come together and work out a better business structure, I think it can work. It's like having a whole musical campaign on steroids. Imagine the artists who do have the whole Twitter campaigns with the record companies and put together the weight that their arm reaches beyond how far our arms can reach. Even if you're spending the same money, even if we got the same radio people, it's something about when they do it that makes it.
They got about 1,000 people doing what you got 2-3 people doing.
Exactly. So if you put it all together in the right way, obviously, you know, that's a whole different conversation when it comes to the business breakdown and everything. But I think if we all use social media together, if we use the Twitter and we use the Facebook and we use all of the different things that we can use with them, it's like a whole conglomerate of power that you have together with the record company and the independent, and you come together. Imagine all the people that you can touch. I think Cash Money is like a perfect example of that. These guys go in and they do so much. Now it's to the point where, you know, Universal it makes their job that much easier. And then Universal is the biggest record company in the world. So imagine if we got the biggest independent in the world with the biggest, I mean, it's not imagine, it's what happens. You look at Cash Money, they're outselling everybody. They outsell everybody singles-wise, album-wise. Like, really, a rapper this day and age selling 3.7 million albums. It's ridiculous. Lil Wayne just did it 2 times in a row.
He might have had like 33 million free downloads.
Exactly. But
think about that one.
Yeah. But either way it goes, think about it. Rick Ross just put out a mixtape, and he did 980,000 downloads the first day. Woo. Imagine if everybody would have paid $1 for that. I mean, he would have sold 980,000 copies the first day. So just showing how far the arm can reach, and it shows, agreeing with what Joe says earlier, people don't, if it's free, they're not gonna pay for it. So if he would have put out that same album, and it's the same quality, I like the Rich Fab album, I thought it was dope, but if he put out the same quality album and charged for it, he wouldn't have sold 980,000 the first day. But that social media, that branding, and that marketing that
you get the word out there.
Out of that 980,000 people who bought it the first day, you know, which may sound like a crazy number, not a good ratio, but at least 50,000 to 70,000 of those people are going to buy his album the first day.
Sure.
So it's kind of like, you put it, it's all about, it's relative to how far you want to take it, or you know, how much you're going to use it in your favor, take advantage of.
But how much now that social media is involved, does that dictate or guide some of your decision making or choices as far as people that you're collaborating with, number one, and the type of music that you're producing?
It's major, because it's like you're close to the streets now. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously, you know, we don't live where we grew up, so we don't know, we're not current as to who's saying what, who's high right now. If it was
actually, we are. Hold on.
I'm saying if it wasn't for that.
Let me say one thing. Now, actually, we are, because that's how I know who's hot. So I get with my son and I'll be like, yo, let's look up every single Bronx rapper on the YouTube. They can have 3 views, they can have 5,000 views. That's how I be looking at them new young dudes. I mean. Like, you actually don't have to get shot at to hear the hot. Before, you had to go to the local bar and get shot at. Somebody might get their face cut in the process, and oh shit, he's the new guy, he's hot.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have no way of knowing these things. Like, we would be just in the dark if it wasn't for the internet, if it wasn't for YouTube, if it wasn't for Twitter, if it wasn't for those different type of things. We would be like, I can't hang out in the places that I used to hang out. I can't frequent those places. You know, it wouldn't be as comfortable for me now as it used to be. But so these type of things, they work in our favor. That's the way we know what's relevant and who's hot, and what sounds are working and what kids are dancing to and how they're moving and different ideas. Or even if I might listen, today I was listening to this New Orleans bounce, right? So it's like hot right now in New Orleans, and I'm like, yo, I could take the New Orleans bounce and use the drum patterns and put some chords on top of it, and that's Beyonce #1. You know what I mean? And it sounds fresh to the people who don't know. It sounds fresh to people in LA and in New York and Miami, and they're like, yo, what is this sound? He created some new. But it's not like, you know, I just borrow from something.
It's bound to blow.
Exactly.
Hold up, we already online. You already told them you're jacking them. The one thing about social media, you know, that has, I wouldn't say mess up, but has done as far as the mystery of the artist.
Right.
Like back in the days, like Rakim, he was always so hard, and he had pause, but he always had like Eric B standing behind him like, and then I imagined who they were. I was like, yo, they kill people, bro. Like, they the realest niggas I ever seen, right? Like, they had the mafia, Rolls Royces and all that, and I was just like, yo, these guys got Tommy guns, like, yo, like, they was like, but imagine it would have been now, we would have seen Rakim falling down the stairs drunk, coming out of a club. Yeah. Imagine we would have seen him with his kids shopping at Aventura Mall, right? We'd have been like, yo. I mean, one of my illest stories is one of the hardest groups, and this is no disrespect in the world, but one of the hardest hip hop groups ever in life was Mobb Deep when they first came out, right? And I never forget, and I was Fat Joe the Rapper too, by the way, at the time. They had that shook one, straight up, son, man, scared to look, you scared. I was like, yo, these are the realest guys I've ever heard. So I remember it's so weird because I was visiting and I was in Miami and they had a show there, and we went there and we was there early and it was just rowdy. It was tense in there, you know? And it was the old Luke Club, Crystals or something, right? It's just ran packed and I'm waiting for these guys to come out, and it comes on. And like 30 guys walk on stage, and I'm like, oh shit, these them niggas, man. It's going down. And then when these two little niggas came out, straight up sick, I was like, oh shit. Like, but it was mystery at the time. Yeah. Then I was like, all right, I get it, they rapping. Like, these niggas are dope rappers. Like, I thought I was gonna see a nigga shoot the crowd up or some shit. But
even with the waiting process, you can't even have the mystery no more. As far as it used to be a time when Usher would put out an album, and then a year and a half later he would put out an album, or he would put out an album and go away, and we would miss him. You know, Beyonce would do something, we would miss him. Now the kids are so, because of the social media, the kids forget you so fast they don't even care. Like, I was talking to somebody and they were telling me one of my favorite artists in the world. They was telling me that he's old, and I'm like, he's like 2 years older than me. Like, what are you talking about? It's crazy how you lose respect, you don't value it as much. And I just wish that we could just take the advantages of the social media, but still appreciate the artistic side of music. You know what I mean? Not just thinking of it as, well, you gotta give me music every day. If you don't give me music every day, somebody else will. It should be an appreciation of the art. You know what I mean? It should be like, I really want to ride out this album. It's to the point where artists will have an extremely incredible album, and then they'll feel like, I gotta rush my next one. And I'm like, yo, why don't you put out more singles on this one? They're like, it's old to people. But I'm like, we can't even stretch out the albums anymore because
that's what it did.
If you don't, exactly, if you don't have a song out every year, there's no mystique. There's no like, it's not, the art of mystery is gone. It's not like
Usher would have never threw out a new album
this fast.
Right now.
No,
like right now, like when I heard the new single, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Like
it would have easily been this time next year. Usher would have dropped it.
Because it's moving. It's moving. The computer.
Now, obviously, he's smart. He's playing the game smart. He's saying, I can't, you know, I'm not gonna try to say I wish it was this way, so I'm gonna act as if it's this way.
Can't fight the power.
You can't fight the power.
You gotta roll with the punches.
Exactly. This is the tide. If we swimming in the ocean and the tide is going this way, I'm not gonna try to go against the tide and think, oh, that's what happens. I'm gonna go with the tide.
I never put out a mixtape before, ever in my career, right? So this is part of the social media, you know, keeping up with the times, putting out music, staying current. So I said, like, yo, Halloween, man, I'm gonna drop a mixtape, my first mixtape ever. This shit gonna be crazy, The Dark Side. So it was crazy, but when I dropped it, it was like 52,000 other rappers dropped their mixtape the same fucking day. This one, that one, this one, this one, this one. I was like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, your shit can't even breathe. Motherfucker was like, yo, I'm gonna check out 2 Chainz, I'm gonna check out this, Jim Jones got one, this one, this one. Oh yeah, Fat Joe dropped one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna check out. I'm like, shit. Like,
and you gotta drop a single every week. You gotta shoot a video every week. You can't even, they don't even appreciate this single. World Star gonna have you join up for 2 hours.
One thing, good point. That's also what's going on. What's going on is nowadays, people don't even like songs no more, unless they see the visual to the song.
Right.
Could be the most amazing song in the world. You could drop a song and it has no video and they sort of like it, but it's cool. But you gotta shoot, even if it's a bullshit video, you gotta shoot something and now they like it. Like, it's the craziest thing. So now it makes it so that you must shoot videos with every song you drop.
And the video directors is losing money now because
They done.
I shot one video in my career when I was
They
an artist.
done.
I spent $200,000 on this video. Y'all can Google. It's called Settle Down. I shot a video with Little X did the video, and it cost me $200,000 to shoot this video. I look at this same video right now. I can get that same video for $2,500. I loved watching videos. I loved going home and watching, even you know, the box. We used to watch the box music television you control, and we would pay 99 cents to watch these videos, and we all get in trouble for ordering Master P, make him say like 50 times in a day. And remember when Master P was like #1 for 9 months straight on the box. It was like my whole school year.
He had some money.
So now it's like the kids, the anticipation, like going home, and I think, and I don't want to get all crazy left with it, but I think it killed the American family as well, because we wanted to go home and watch television, and it was one television. We watched together as a family. We knew our brothers and sisters. We knew what they was into. Nowadays, kids don't even know their own brothers and sisters, because I'm over here watching it here. I'm over at this friend's house doing this here. I'm over here, and the videos used to be we was there together.
All right.
We had the opportunity.
Rico, I see your trainer in the building. It's actually kind of unhealthy as well, right? Because if kids ain't outside playing baseball, basketball, jumping rope, dancing, and they just watching that fucking computer all day, and they sitting on their ass all day, it's like they driving a bus.
Exactly.
So it even gets, and on a healthy aspect of it, it's like crazy too.
Yeah.
Like you gotta try to force them to like some shit that ain't in the computer.
Yeah, and they can find it. They already know it. The news is to them already. You know what I mean? It's like, you know.
I heard a story yesterday. I was at a radio station, and Lucy from Power 96, I'm gonna give her credit for this story right here. She has a daughter that's only 2 years old, and she said the other day she was reading a magazine, and her little daughter was going like this. Like in the magazine, like trying to make it, you know, like the iPad. Like, yo, this is real shit. Like a 2-year-old girl was trying, DJ Effect in the building. The 2-year-old girl she didn't realize that was a magazine and it wasn't an iPad or an iPhone. She was trying to just push it to the side. And that just shows you how the little kids are being trained to
listen, I saw a little girl wrote me a letter, and like this lady Instagrammed the picture of the daughter's letter. And like, you're my favorite songwriter, and I love all your songs. And I'm like, oh, this 4-year-old girl, they wrote the letter. They was like, she's 13. But I'm like, her penmanship is too terrible. Because she don't have to, oh man, I just said that.
He admitted it, he loved it.
It was a sweet letter, but the penmanship was so horrible. Yo, he about to wow out. I'm done. No, but it was like,
Rico Love will be doing charity and community tomorrow.
You know, it was a sweet letter. It was very nice. It was hard, but I was just like,
heartfelt.
I'm like, how is your daughter? You know, how sweet that y'all taught her how to write to write me a letter, and she's 13. And I'm like, these kids don't even write. They don't even know how to write because they're on the computer all day. It's like they don't even have the opportunity to do the things we learned, like penmanship and writing in cursive and learning things. It was like, literally, I thought it was a 4-year-old girl wrote the letter. So I just wish that we could just, like I keep stressing this, I wish we could just take all of the good things of social media and all the things that I grew up with. Like me, for instance, DJ Effect just walked in. Me, for instance, I like old school things. It makes me feel good about it. I hate it when DJs stop carrying crates and records. When I first saw the Seratos, I was so upset because I'm like, damn man, anybody can be able to DJ. You know what I mean?
You are absolutely
now,
right.
it used to be where if you were a DJ, if you were a recording artist, if you were whatever, you had to really work hard to do it because it used to take 12 hours to record a recording session because of reels, and you had to switch out the reels, and you had
Let's just say I could never DJ. My friend Serge, that's one thing.
Now, celebrities are getting
illiterate DJ. Like, I used to go practice for hours and I was just whack, and I knew I was whack. I used to try, like my man kept trying to teach me and I'd just be whack and I'd just be, but now you go to the club and it's like, yo, Paulie D's DJing. Yo! You like, the girl from American Idol is our DJ tonight. And you like, cause they could just press the button and that's the song. So I think that killed the DJ.
Yeah, so many things, and like even recording artists, like I was saying, like it used to be reels. It used to be like you had to switch out the tapes, and then you had to bake the tapes, and it was all type of different process. So if you wanted to be a singer, you had to really want to be a singer. Now it's just like, I got a mic in my room, I got a computer, I record it, I press stop, I learn how to do these little edits, I put some auto-tune on it, I vocal align it, I'm lazy, I don't even have to really work hard for it. And like I said, I'm gonna keep stressing, if we could take all of the old things, all of the quality that we used to put into our music, and the love and the care we put into creating music, and just love and the care, just in whatever, everything we did, I think mix it with the social media and how fast we can get the content to the people, I feel like it would be an amazing thing. Another thing I think is positive about social media is it gives people an opportunity to get to know an artist on a different level. I was always a fan of Fabulous, right? I always loved Fabulous as the rapper. But I didn't know how funny Fabulous was until I got on Twitter. So it made me really like Fabulous. Like, yo, Fabulous is hilarious. The things he says, it helped him so much because people found a way to identify and connect with him without him doing a reality show, without him putting himself out there on television and putting his personal life on television. He said, he just tweeted, and he would say some of the coolest stuff. And even with the way that my Twitter followers connect with me and the things I might say, and it's like, I got Tourette sometimes, I might say, blurt out this, I might say this type of thing, or I might be in this type of mood, but it's kind of like to show the inconsistencies in our character, which is the thing that, the perfect imperfection, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to show our human contradiction, and it lets people know, like, damn, I don't feel so bad that some days I'm at church and some days I'm at the strip club, you know what I mean? So, it's like, he's doing it too, but it's just like different ways to show different sides and different levels of who we are, and I think that's cool about the Twitter and the social media.
No, it is, and we're gonna ask you a question. I've toured with Fabulous, and I'll be like, yo, this motherfucker, man, he's either the smoothest motherfucker on earth, or he ain't got nothing to say. He's just sitting there, all of us there in the lobby, we hanging out in some boring fucking place, and Busta Rhymes making a movie, this one's over here, we on tour, and Fab is like, and then 2 minutes later, you look on Twitter, he's been saying the funniest shit on earth. Like, yo, what the fuck? Is this a different person? It's almost like he got like comedy writers with him and shit.
I think Kevin Hart is doing his tweets.
Kevin Hart, he got him on the lower shit. See, every rapper, this business is not made for longevity. This business spits you in and spits you out. So you're hot for 2-3 years and then you're gone. To be a longevity rapper is almost impossible, because if you could all make #1 hit records, you would all be rappers or artists. It's like the most hardest shit in the world. It's like hitting Powerball every year to make a hit record. It's the true shit. That's why they love Rico Love, because he has talent where he spits out #1 hits. Of course I'm gonna love Rico Love. I'm happy I knew him before he was spitting them out. He knows my love is sincere. So the point is, that's social media right now. Yo, Joe, you talking too much shit. Illuminati. That's that Illuminati core right there.
You gonna be on Media Takeout tomorrow. Fat Joe admits to being an Illuminati.
For the record, I don't even know what the fuck Illuminati is.
They're gonna show close up with your tat. It's gonna be like a little symbol or something.
Yo, but so say so everybody, I can name you. Chingy had a run. Alright, now no disrespect, Chingy chameleon, they think I'm rolling, they hate it, China, that shit was big, right? But we didn't have social media there, right? So he was popping 1 billion bottles in the King of Diamonds of Houston's, he was like everybody did some crazy shit. Niggas was flying off chandeliers, everybody wilded out. But it just so happens that the Rick Ross era happened when the social media is popping, and he's making the same movies the whole planet Earth make, but now you see it. So now you're like, oh shit, they over here now.
And you can say,
yo, like, and he knew that, and I didn't know that. So he had Spip TV. Let's give him a lot of credit too. So he had a guy with a camera following him and shooting everything. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with these niggas? Like, they shooting shit I wouldn't shoot. Like, I'm like, yo, that's private, yeah. But people ate that shit up. And he became bigger and bigger and bigger because of that. Because I think he was the best, just like Fabulous is the best to capitalize off of Twitter. Rick Ross is the best to capitalize off of viral and being in tune with the fans. Because every day he got some shit up on the computer rocking.
Why don't you own your Twitter handle, Fat Joe?
I don't know. I can't even front here and act like I'm computer savvy to you and all that. I really ain't. Wow. You know, I was against the shit. Like, I'm old school, you know? So I was like, I'm one of the last survivors that had to give in and say, yo, listen, my man, like, you know, you're gonna be real, like, it's almost money is played out now. How about that? If you pull out cash right now to buy some shit, like I was my man's wife, my brother Fabian. What's Danielle's company? Amika
Styles. Yeah.
Amika Styles. That shit is beautiful. That's like one of my best friends. My brother, his wife has a beautiful company. You have her bracelets on? Yeah. Beautiful. So I went to one of her events. And they had a computer. Yeah, I don't want to sound crazy played out to y'all, but they got a little computer with a little thing, and they just swipe the credit cards. Right? The square. They're swiping the credit cards. No motherfucker pulled out $1, right? So I'm up in there with my publicist, and she likes the fucking bracelet. I'm like, yo, Sarita, you want a bracelet or something? I got you 1,000,000%, no problem. So she pulls out like 1 or 2 bracelets. I pull out the cash. And I'm just like, yo, I'm fucking old school. Yo, I got cash. Like, it's almost like, I don't know if you go to the strip club and start throwing credit cards at them. Yeah, like, they might have a motherfucking nipple little box shit. That's what it might be, because I felt old school. I was the only nigga with some cash in there. The game is crazy right now, man. So well, back to the original question. I don't know why I don't own Fat Joe. I'm Joey Crack TS. I don't know.
Wow. As far as like mixing the old school with the new school, like how much do you think that record labels or even just like an artist or producer, when you release a track or an album, do you still rely on some like the old school street teams, like having people out on the street putting up flyers?
No, that's not. I think on touring it works. Like when you go on, show to show and you're passing out merchandise. Even now they give you flyers where you can swipe and download the mixtape. But I think it's important when you're on the road. But as far as when you're not in that market, it doesn't even make sense anymore. Now
it's like they say like this. Right? And I was street team king. Like, I don't know if you know, I invented putting up posters. No, I invented it. Look that bitch up. Stickers, destroying your city with the stickers, I invented that. Like, Big Pun was the first campaign with the poster boards, with the stickers. We was gonna get a billboard for like 120,000, and I said, yo, I was stuck in the traffic on that West Side Highway, and I was like, yo, imagine we take 120,000. I'm tired of being stuck in this spot. And I was looking at the light poles and I was like, let's take a fucking $120,000 and buy a bunch of fucking poster boards. Niggas is stuck here anyway. Flood this bitch in the middle of the night and kick. So I love Street Team, but nowadays, when I put out a video, it's the weirdest shit you ever seen in your life. I got the guy, the valet guy who don't know English. I got just random people at the bank, the fucking banker that I go see. Y'all seen your video on World Star today. What the fuck? Like, so it's like, you know, it's crazy, the demographics. So you like, why am I gonna spend money on a Street Team when I just need a banner on World Star and the whole planet Earth saw it? That's where the Street Team shit is at.
It's the first thing people do when they wake up in the mornings. Click on media takeout on World Star. Like there's so many, the two things that everybody do in the morning. People texting me.
Hey,
like,
I did it this morning.
We heard this, exactly. We heard this happen, and you're like, this just happened last night. It's on World Star. You know what I mean? So different things like, so the Street Team, I think it does work and is effective when you're running around in that market, in that particular market at that time. Because now people will have a t-shirt to go with. They have a little flyer, or they have a CD, because as soon as you leave an event, and if you just go put it in your car, if it's good enough, you may just listen to it consistently, you know what I mean? So I think it's not totally over if you're in that market, but it used to be where they would outsource different marketing companies and Street Teams all everywhere in the country at college campuses and put up these flyers and it meant something. Now it's just like, you're so jaded, you don't even, people walk past it and don't even notice that they're looking at the flyer every day. So, you know, it's just.
What do you do when you think about Lady Gaga, for instance? Like, I don't know how many followers she has. What does she have?
A billion.
20 million.
20 million followers, right? So if you set up an entire channel where you've got all these people that support your music and follow you, and then it gets to the point where that record deal that you had, I guess you get sort of resentful because you're thinking, why can't I just sell directly?
They won't buy it. It don't matter. You can have 20. Listen, I did a record on Nelly called Just a Dream. It was #1 for a gazillion weeks. It was humongous. You would think, like, you know, Nelly has, what, 2 million followers on Twitter. You would think at least 150,000 people should buy this album the first week. They didn't. It just don't work like that. You know what I mean? It's just like, you wish in a perfect world, you could wish you can rely on
that's what turns me off about giving you so much of my life. I'm not gonna go on Twitter and say, yo, I'm taking this shit right now. I'm not gonna do it because if I'm gonna give you so much of my life and you're not even gonna give me $1 for it. I've seen 1 million artists who have 10 billion followers and they record come out and they sell 5,000 records. That's whack because they just finished telling you, they took a shit. They ate right now, yo, should I wear the burgundy scarf? Like, yo, like, we done sold our fucking souls and you still ain't give me $1 for the shit. It's like too free.
It's too free.
Yes.
What do you think about diversifying, or maybe you have already, in regards to garments, like branded garments? Because I saw Lady Gaga, she aligned herself with Burberry, and now she's selling branded Lady Gaga. I guess maybe she also sees there's a huge fan base, but maybe they're listening to her music but downloading it for free. But she aligned herself with a luxury brand to sell.
Yeah, definitely. It's always smart to you know, capitalize on your brand and make sure you cross market in different things, because that's what people do when we don't solely rely on record sales. There used to be a time when, you know, Celine Dion didn't have to do a bunch of that campaign and doing all, because she was making so much money off just straight music, you know what I mean? But now you have to, if you really want to consistently make a living, and you have to capitalize off your fame. You have to do certain things. Not saying that she's even compromising who she is. I think that's just a smart business move. But absolutely, I think it's wise to, if you got a certain level of fame that she has loyal followers who worship her. So if she says today we wear Burberry, if Lady Gaga said, "Little monsters, I only want you to wear Burberry forever."
Hey, Puff does it.
Yeah.
Crack, what the fuck you doing with Grey Goose? Get him some Ciroc. Be like, switching my shit I paid for. Want the coconut? You're like, oh shit, all right, Puff.
So I think that's genius. That's a smart thing to do. You know, if you have that opportunity, a lot of people are unfortunate enough to have that type of branding power and don't have that type of say in, you know, how people are affected. Jay-Z is one of those people who do. You know, when the whole everybody was wearing the jerseys and he came out one day and one song said, "I don't wear jerseys. I'm 30 plus. Give me a fresh pair of jeans and a button up." It's like they changed the whole thing. It was like no more jerseys. I'm doing button-ups. It's to the fact that overnight throwback jerseys, which I had on at that time on layaway, was like over that fast. It's over. Throwbacks are done. You got throwback on your back. I got a button-up.
Before social media.
Before social media. So if you got the opportunity to brand it, and then 50 Cent came out a month later and said, you know, I'm a thug now, and people was like, fuck these button-ups.
Let's throw this tank top.
You know, exactly, bulletproof vests and stuff like that. So, but at this day and age, if you got the opportunity, go for it. Get your money.
And I say that because there are companies that you can outsource, so you don't have to have the inventory. You just pay as they buy.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, Byron was telling me about that. Basically, you could just tell them.
Byron's like,
you
everybody told you about that shit.
You don't even have to like.
You gotta tell me about that shit.
You can just tell them. Now you can just tell them what you want to do and promote it. And they'll put your brand on it. They'll like, you want to say, I want the Fat Joe T-shirts. They'll make the T-shirt, put Fat Joe on it, and sell it for you, and just give you your cut.
Sounds phenomenal.
What do you think about artists that utilize social media and have a large following, you know, such as like Lil B, the bass god? Would you consider that music, or are they just, yeah, it's just all hype?
I'm done with trying to judge what other people like. You know what I mean?
Perfect. I'm
never in the business of telling somebody. You know, I might not personally care for whatever type of artist or whatever, but I really started, especially from being an executive now and on the record company, I started to try to see things objectively and look into, I don't think that people are buying into Lil B's music. They're buying into his lifestyle. They're buying into his I don't give a fuck mentality. They're buying into his whole movement and his, you know, the swag movement and everything. I think the kids are connected to him on a certain level because he looks like the kid who goes to school with him. You know what I mean? So it's just like they're connected to him, and I think that he has capitalized it. I don't know if his buzz is as big as it was a few months ago right now, but at that time he was so, you know, it was pumped up. It was so perpetuated that people same thing with Soulja Boy at the time when Soulja Boy first came out. He had the internet smashed.
What about Tyler the Creator?
Tyler the Creator. I think personally Tyler the Creator is an amazing rapper. You know, a lot of things that he might say, but if you say line for line as a rapper, I think Tyler the Creator, he's an amazing rapper. A lot of things that he might promote or say may not be something that I would agree with, but at the end of the day, I can appreciate somebody who's an amazing writer. You know what I mean? This is like he was just saying, like you might write. I think hip hop is so much entertainment now. It's like writing a horror story. You know, like I never saw a ghost, and I never had Freddy chasing me down the hall. But if I write about it, and people can believe it and buy it, it's just like writing, you know, a movie. So if he's writing about the devil taking over his soul and doing all this crazy stuff, I think it's just his using his creativity and just telling a story. It might not even be true to him, you know. He could be a devout Christian, who knows? But he's just saying these things because he's telling that type of story. His inner workings of who he is, that's him. I'm just done with trying to give, because I get so upset when people get on Twitter and just spew out things to me that I don't feel like they take time to even take into consideration the logic of it. So what I started learning how to do was just saying, you know what? Always saying that. How do I know that this is not him telling the story of something he's heard or something? He could be a poet and he's just really kind of like, so I just feel like if some people like it, you know, and I'm in a position like right now, if I had the opportunity to sign Tyler the Creator, I would sign him at the drop of a hat. If I see all the followers he has, if I see the movement, if I see everywhere he's going. The first time I saw him was at Coachella last year when I saw him and he was performing in, Lil B was performing and Lil B brought out Tyler. It's like, yeah, this is my little homie, and he came out and the crowd went crazy. And I'm like, this must be the next guy. A few months later, he won the MTV New Artist of the Year award, you know what I mean, or whatever the video, whatever that was. And I'm like, that's crazy, like how these kids might like something I might not necessarily be into it.
I'm gonna give you the greatest example. Greatest example. Don't ask me how, because if I haven't figured it out. I haven't figured out how they're doing this, right? Because I'm putting music, I'm putting videos on there too. I don't know where the cult following shit comes from, right? But I am very, very, very good friends with a rapper named Tech Nine. I have never heard a Tech Nine record on the radio in my life. So they're probably in town now, right? I don't know, right? And they're performing across the street. I swear to God, this happens to me all the time. Yo, Joe, where you at? Yo, I'm in Florida. We're in Fort Lauderdale tonight. Like, who the fuck? Where? Right down the block from where you live, across the street. I walk in that motherfucker. It's like 5,000 white boys with their face painted like this nigga, and they going fucking great. And I see the kid that works in Best Buy that I buy from every day. And like, how the fuck they know this guy? Because he's my man, and I don't know his shit. You see what I'm saying? So it's so crazy.
Basically, it's like they connect to them. They go out and first of all, don't be arrogant enough to think it's just you. It's people hire these marketing teams and these internet guys who really market your stuff for you. So it's not like a guy puts a YouTube up and they think, and tomorrow it gets a million views. It's people who are hired to do these things, and we have to give them their just due and their respect because it's a serious job they do. I got an internet guy who I pay, and I know that he does the things and puts out the things and you know, make sure the Tierra Marie joint is over here, and make sure the Young Chris is something over here, make sure Shalice's video is seen here, and this and that. So it's just been teams of people that are hired to promote and to market these brands, and I think that you got to take your hat off to them. But also, they're giving away things on their website. You understand how powerful owning a website is, because we not on Tech Nine's website, but his website might have 2 million traffic a day. So imagine if his website is saying, we're announcing the new show dates, but you gotta find out on the website. Obviously, you're not gonna know where the show is. You're not on his website, but it's about fans and followers who are getting updated on new Tech Nine information on his website every day. Justin Bieber the same way. It's just that Justin Bieber has also commercial success. But if people capitalize off these type of things, I think it's genius. And I think it makes you cool to know that everybody doesn't know about it. It's like Skrillex, right? I'm working with DJ Skrillex next week. And it's so dope because Skrillex was one of the biggest artists in the world. Skrillex was avoiding working with him. And it's like, yo, you crazy, see opportunity to work with, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, he's not making me cool though. If my fans see that I'm going out this blatant doing this thing, I'm not as cool as I am if I keep it low. I work with you because I respect your artistry and I respect what we can create together sonically. And maybe I'm not trying to say I'm the coolest guy in the world, but I feel like people think I'm hip enough to be able to take some underground and cross it over into mainstream. So it's like a way of bartering it. But these guys, they so underground and they so love and appreciate it for being discreet. Because remember when Wiz Khalifa first came out, his fans hated Black and Yellow because they felt like it was an attempt to make a radio record. But he gave them so much substance on his album with the Jim Johnson record, what's the joint? I'm on my level. And he said, I'm gonna make sure I do that. But it's funny how the underground, when you keep it quiet and you keep it discreet, it's like I don't know if you guys ever watched Seinfeld, it's like the soup Nazi. It was like, you go in there and it's the guy who doesn't want to give you the soup. That's what you want the most. The guy who doesn't even want you to know where his concert is. That's when people are trying to figure it out. Now, as soon as Paris Hilton shows up at the Tech Nine show, he's done. You know what I mean? But it's just like, and the fans are upset because they're like, you don't even appreciate what it really is. And I think that's cool to be able to do it on that level. My thing is what we have to learn is how to set up these websites and get the traffic going there. Instead of putting all our stuff on YouTube, we got to divert the traffic onto the websites and make people have to go there. If they want to see it, they have to go there. Not, you're going to go here and you click on it and it takes you to YouTube. Nah, you got to click on it and you got to watch it here. The same way World Star does, and then before you know it, it'll be word of mouth. And then this kid will do it, and this kid will go here, and he'll be like, oh, where'd you see that? I saw that on division1.com, and then I saw this on terrorsquad.com, and they keep going and they build the traffic. That's what these kids are doing. They got these websites that we don't know much about, but every city they go to, they passing out the little sticker, the bumper sticker to the kids. Go check me out on ASAPRocky.com. Go check me out on check9.com, and they're doing it. So it's about being creative and taking those same strategies that the major market record companies are taking the same strategies that a Walmart might do, or taking the same strategies as any other company and importing it into what you do, and kind of like creating a buzz on an underground level. And I think the key to that is keeping it as discreet as possible.
In regards to that, before releasing a video or any new music or anything like that, what would you say your marketing, social media marketing strategy would be to help you hype up that video? Like, What are things that you've done?
Twitter, my Twitter followers, like, I think I have a real consistent, true Twitter following. Like, I mean, I think I have like 67,000 followers, and I found out yesterday that 85% of my followers are true followers. So you might, not trying to throw people in the bus, you might see a person with 300,000 followers, and then it's only 20% real. You know what I mean? So I have 80% true followers. I'm interacting.
How we get fake followers? I want some fake followers.
There's a company that you can outsource, and you give them money and they send you followers.
That's some bullshit.
That's super good. but people do it. So to know that I have 85% true followers. So people who I speak to are really interacting with me. It's like it's a real thing. And not to knock anybody who does it otherwise, but it's like you're not capitalizing so much on what you really, like what's the point of having 200,000 followers if it's only 20,000 real ones? You're not really selling this. It's almost like you're trying to look cool to everybody else. Right. But I think it's smarter when you get if I want to promote something, I know I have true followers. I know I have Charlie is my internet guy, and we can get it to everywhere. We make teasers, for instance. And I do blogs. I do video blogs where I just kind of like, whatever I'm feeling that day, I just say it. And then my guy, he chops and edits it. And then he does B-roll footage of things, whatever I'm doing that day. It's not even like my B-roll footage might not even have anything to do with the subject I'm talking about, but it's just letting you know this is what I'm doing today, and this was on my mind. So when people start seeing that and talking about it, they really start trusting themselves with you. You know what I mean? So when you start saying things like this Friday we dropping this, then at least you're following. And I got 67,000 followers, but that's in a large scheme of things, it's not the 3 million that Puff Daddy has, it's not the 16 million that Justin Bieber has. But for what I do, as just being a creative force, like I'm just a guy who writes and produces records, and and has a decent personality, I would like to think. And you put that type of stuff out, and your true following, your organic group of followers, they're spreading the word, and they're really talking and letting people know who you are and what you're about. And then before you know it, we can promote things that's coming out within that, and it spreads and it reaches along the hand, because now, for no reason, Fat Joe will retweet something I say. For no reason, Puff Daddy will retweet something I say. The other day, Rihanna retweeted me, and then I got like 12,000 followers in an hour. So, just because you never know who's watching you never know who's following you, and those people might think you have something to say that's cool, and it's kind of like word of mouth. It's like 7 degrees of separation with Twitter, but it's like 70,000 degrees of separation. Anybody might say something. You might know somebody from this. A girl hit me up the other day and said, I had to follow you because all of my followers retweet you every day. So I had to follow you. So it's like, true following and stuff like that is how you kind of promote, you know what I mean, within itself. On a smaller scale, obviously, like I said before, Charlie, my guy, he can get the teasers out to people, he can get the blogs out to people, and people will be aware. And in all my blogs, I play whichever record I promote. Like, I got an artist I just signed out of DC, a female rapper named Rabbit, and I just put her music on me. I don't force it down people, I just put it on you, and then now people hit me up like, what's that song playing in the background? And I had Charlize Love You Right featuring Lil Wayne. I put music in the background. People are like, what's that record? This is the song, go download it here. Tierra Marie, you did that same thing. I just put the song in here. And that's how you kind of like subtly promote it. Because my goal is to make sure I stay as cool as possible and not that guy who's trying to sell everything. You know what I mean? Because that kind of cornies you out real fast when you just, wearing bumper stickers on your forehead. You know what I mean? At the end, showed me to show his videos. And I'm showing him a record I did, and it was like, 2 million views, and then I saw Aventura video and it said 29 million views in like 2 weeks, you know what I mean? So that type of thing, it's kind of like...
he played the Chris Brown song, and somebody said 6 million views. I turned around, I was like, yo, you better believe it. That nigga threw up a 48 million views. I was like, dude.
He's like, you better believe it.
He was like,
but it's cool because you cross market those worlds. People get a chance to see you. And I actually wrote a song for introduce the world of Usher and Romeo Santos. I wrote the current single Promise, which I think is still #1 on Latin Billboard. So it's like to be able to put those two worlds together. If it wasn't for the social media, we'd just be going by word of mouth. And him showing me pictures of him performing in front of big crowds. But we was able to see that. He sold out the Garden like 5 nights in a row consecutively. Broke the record, broke Ricky Martin's record, and sold out Puerto Rico like 6 nights in a row. Like ridiculous type of stuff that I would have no idea, no clue about. And to be able to have success, now people would even learn, like, Promise, which is a lot of Latin Americans' favorite song. They're like, Rico wrote it, so Kid for the Project. You know what I mean? So it's like cool to be able to cross market because of the social media. You know what I mean?
To say that was awesome would be be an understatement. Amazing, awesome. We really appreciate your time today, and I think that what was most incredible about it is how authentic the conversation was, that you guys, it was real talk about social and how it impacts music for you as real artists and how it affects the artists that you represent, and that's amazing. Can I get a round of applause?